Isa sa mga releases in the last 3 years na tumatak sa big bike scene in terms of affordability, comparable quality and finish, and looks is Bristol Motorcycles. Lumabas noon yung BR400, maraming natuwa doon, and since then, tuloy-tuloy naman ang mga labas nilang mga motor na may saysay. So recap lang, as I mentioned in another Bristol video, ang family roots ng Bristol Motorcycles can be traced to Hartford at yung parent company noon ang nagsusupply ng machines na gumagawa ng piyesa para sa Airbus, Boeing, American Aeronautical Company, Pratt Whitney Aircrafts, and Ferrari. Malaking kumpanya ang pinanggalingan ng motor na ito, and this brand is now under Pinoy supervision under Bristol Motorcycles. The Bristol Veloce 500. Mahirap ikumpara ito sa unang labas na Bristol BR400. Yun kasi mas classic ang datingan. Ito naman mas modern classic ang arrive. While may sariling appeal yung BR400, ang Bristol Veloce comes to us with a stronger presence. Mas datingan macho ang Veloce over the BR400. Looks pa lang yan ha. In terms of performance and power, mas angat talaga ang Veloce point per point. I mean, we have liquid cooling here. 8 valves, parallel twin. Diba? Dun pa lang layo na. Displacement is 471cc, 6-speed siya. Frame niya, dual beam diamond shape. That's a time-tested design. Gulong Pirelli agad. Ang brakes, nasa dual channel ABS na. Double disc harap, single disc sa likod. You have KYB shocks. Fuel injected na po siya at may USB port! Andyan na lahat! Butang ina ko. Sorry. Ang ride ng Bristol Veloce in line sa kanyang diamond frame and KYB shocks ay mainam pang mahaba ang biyahe. Usually sa mga gantong forma, parang run and gun lang ang dating, diba? Parang yun ang purpose. Sporty classic standard style niya eh. My expectation was a sporty suspension, but it was behaving more na pang touring. Komportable naman. At dahil sa wheel config niya na 18 sa harap at 17 sa likod, in relation to its length and rake, the bike turned out to be very stable. Alam nyo, laking bagay talagang gulong. Mas importante na upgrade yan kaysa sa tambucho. In fact, kung may una kang dapat i-upgrade, dapat gulong ang inuuna. Wala nang iba. Mahusay yung Pirellis, ganda ng kapit, sarap sa kantuhan. Ito na po mga kaibigan, ang Veloce 500. Veloce. So ano meron sa atin dito? Basically, highway bike, klarong-klaro. You got a parallel twin engine here by Bristol. And in terms of how it looks, suffice to say, I say it looks good. Meron na tayong spoke wheels, so for me, that's already a plus. I actually prefer pag classic looking ng bike natin ay spoke wheels. Taking a look at our tire po ngayon, ang nakasalpak po dito ay Pirelli agad. So, This is pretty impressive in terms of how serious Bristol is sa ino-offer nila, no? So sa value niya, sa price niya, meron ka ng Pirellis agad, dual sport. This can technically take you off-road also. Spoke wheels pa siya. So, it's telling us na sige, subukan niyo mag-off-road, 'di ba? Naglagay na rin sila ng skid plate dito. Although overall, as an off-road machine, it is kind of low. So, siguro light off-road kayang-kaya niya to. So, ang specs natin ay 110, 80, 18. So, mas malaki ang gulong natin sa harap. And of course, sa likod, we got thicker tires. So, ang specs naman natin for the rear, 17 yung gulong natin. And yung tires ay 160, 60, 17. So, mas makapal siya. Mas maliit, pero mas makapal. So, tubeless siya. As you notice, yung spokes natin, palabas. So, pwede ka maglagay ng tubeless tires dito kasi wala namang butas dito. Hindi pumapasok yung spokes dito sa loob. So, that's a really, really nice thing. And itong klaseng mga gulong na to, you can find it in more expensive brands like BMW, Ducati. Meron na silang ginagawang ganito a few years back. And it's very, very convenient, of course, kung tubeless ka. So, at this size, rightly so, liquid-cooled po ang ating Bristol Veloce. And this tank, this huge tank, can take in 18 liters of fuel. So, that's a sizable amount. Medyo makakalayo tayo dyan. So, looking at closer look at our guts, you got the Bristol logo on the engine. Parallel twin po siya. And you can see the two pipes over here. So, no frills, straight up. Wala lang twisty design. From there, it goes down here. And then boom, straight to the pipe. And you can see also the pipe is not long but not short either. May pinapakitang tires pa. Now, feeling ko kung magawa nila ng design na mas maiklian pa nila yung exhaust. I know it's syempre engineered na to na ganyan yung length dapat for proper torque and pressure. Pero I don't know kung sana magawa nila na mas kachak yan para talagang buong buo yung gulong sa likod, diba? Single-sided swing arm na siya eh. So, really, really nice. However, maganda rin dito yung nalinis nila yung part na to at yung kanilang suspension is, diba, if you look at it, nasan yung rear suspension? That is a good question actually. Where is the rear suspension? I don't see it. Okay, there it is. So, silip, yun, suspension. It's hidden away behind this, behind that. Wala kang makikita rin dito. Super clean, very, very clean over here. Now, in terms of papogian ang pinag-uusapan na ganyang kalinis na wala kang suspension na ikita, but it is hidden. Of course, if you gotta change that, mas hassle, diba? Kasi tagon-tago eh. I mean, that's where it is. You gotta open this whole thing up. You gotta take out the rear tire. And I guess you also need to take out the exhaust to reach the rear suspension if you need to change it. So, it's gonna take more time. Pero, for me, kung pogi lang pinag-usapan, pogi talaga. Diba? So, let's take a look at the lights really quick. LED na kagad ang ating brake lights, signal turn lights natin LED rin, and of course sa harap signal light ay LED, and ooh, look at that. I mean, tanghaling tapat ngayon, mainit, but you can still see na malinaw ang ating headlight. Okay, let's talk about the trims here. So aluminum trim, you got aluminum trim on the headlight and aluminum trim over here as well. This is all complementing this too. So, looking at everything here, I'm trying to figure out what this bike reminds me of. Reminds me of a Ducati na may halong R90. Or maybe the higher displaced scrambler ng Ducati, the 1100. Parang ganun yung datingan niya. So, in terms of how this looks with the color of the tank, I'd prefer that to be a different color like blue or maybe black. You know, parang malagaran yung kulay. And I think that's gonna look really, really nice there. That's a bit of like olive green and brown for the combination. So, nice touch also on your mudguard. On this side looks hanging, but of course yung mudguard nakakabit dito. That's also a nice touch to it. In terms of the seat this time, I would also change this. This shade of brown I'm not a big fan of. It's not the material. The material I'm fine. It's just the color na gusto kong palitan. I'd stick with black maybe, or maybe tan. I think a nice tan or sand, yung kulay buhangin, popping out with a black tank, that would look really good. But don't get me wrong, the material itself, huwag mo nang pansinin yung kulay, okay naman siya. In terms of foam and seating comfort, I've been really comfortable with this bike. Di naman ako sakit puwet later on. Although sa pillion mo, medyo matigas to sa puwet. Pero dito, as the rider, as the driver, you're gonna be fine. So the other parts here that I can commend, where in other brands, dito na nagtitipid. Alam mo yung mga maninipis na shifter na parang mababali. Yung mga black na parang sama. I mean, look at this. Maayos oh. Look at all of that. The detail on that, that's really nice, and I gotta appreciate Bristol on that you're giving attention to detail. This one also, where it counts, right? Levers, okay siya. It's nice and beefy, good quality with the levers. This one too. The handlebars, I'd keep that na. Okay na yung handlebars. So, kung meron akong nakikitang pwedeng i-improve on, grips, papalitan ko yan. It would have been nice if they had like branding here, like Bristol Veloce or something. Pero this is pretty regular. I'd change that. This one is okay. I mean, it's your usual regular. Mirrors, yeah, we can find better ones than these. I'd change that also. Sometimes a lot of brands fall short here. So this is a bit regular. This side, that's a bit regular, and also this one. Case in point, like this yellow, for me, this switch, sana black na lang. Parang di bagay yung pagka may dilaw ka na lang dyan bigla. And again, mga ganito, if you compare to yung quality na meron ka dito, hindi sila match. Like ito, sobrang ganda ng part na to, maayos dito. And then biglang dito, it's not that part. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, hindi niya ka-level yung mga ibang parts dito na magagandang quality. This is where a lot of manufacturers fall short. I don't know why. Dito sila parang, okay, let's take it easy on this part. All out tayo sa iba. So yung Veloce natin, the layout, seating position, Superman yung ating arms, right? It's more stretched out as you can see, as opposed to dito with other bikes. This is also quite comfortable when you're riding about. Turning it on now. So that is our display. So paano kumiteng-teng sa ating display? Since like what I said, tanghaling tapat, you can clearly see, maliwanag naman siya. I mean, lunchtime ngayon, I can see everything. Don't worry about the flickering. Camera ko lang yan dahil yung shutter speed natin. Yeah, maliwanag siya. So dito ang ating buttons. That's what you're gonna press to adjust things here. Select, let's see what we have right off the bat. ABS off, ABS on, ABS off, ABS on. Pwede mo siyang tanggalin kung if you're doing off-road and you wanna do some like and you want to do all of that stuff, so you can take off, disable the ABS. Odometer, meron trip A, so just one trip. Okay, and then everything else is there already. So meron ka ng fuel gauge, meron ka ng temperature, speedometer, and of course your RPM. Now this display is interesting in the sense na unang tingin kala mo TFT, but it's not. So I'd call this parang a TFT pseudo display. So pwede na rin. That's all you're getting. In terms of how it sounds, let's check out how the Bristol sounds now. Let's turn it on. Powered up. Pakinggan natin. Fuel switch. Fuel pump.
Sa context ng almost 500cc na motor, may sipa rin yung Veloce. Claimed manufacturer's top speed, 185 kph. Gas consumption naman on walwal walang paki-mode, I got 23.653 kpl.
Brakes for the Veloce, Bristol brake right now. This is a very sprightly bike, maliksik din siya. I like the handling, madali siyang gamitin for its size. I'm gonna try the brakes now. Likod muna. Easy muna. Okay, more power, more jamming on the brakes. Okay, narinig na po natin. Sisimula na gumana yung ABS. Okay, that's the rear brakes. Try the front. Gentle muna, gentle. Easy, easy. Easy, easy. Maganda yung front brakes nito. Kayang-kaya na yung weight ng bike. Stopping, wala kayong pakiramdam na mawawala yung gulong mo sa harap. And easy pa yung ABS. Dito lang ang motor. More. Still, I'm not able to make the front ABS work. And yun, gumana na. Medyo scary yun, kinda got scared there. So usually when you feel that the front wheel, although syempre pag emergency namin nagtatawiran na, minsan hindi mo na maiisip na pag naramdam mo na yung front nag-lock na tapos mawawala na sa ilalim mo, yun yung silbi ng ABS. So kanina I did get a bit scared kasi gusto nito talagang mas mabilis ka ng konti, hard braking at the front bago gumana yung ABS. Right when I felt na nagsiskid na siya, gumana naman na yung ABS. Pero binitawan ko na rin sa kanan just to be sure, because on that note naman kasi ina-anticipate ko so hindi naman accident yung hindi mo alam, bigla ka na ng instinctively pepreno, di ba? I was inaabangan ko, in other words. So the ABS is working fine at the front, but ang galing, hindi niya kailangan sumipa just like that. Maganda yung preno nitong Bristol na to without you having to jam on the front brakes too much. So you can imagine, syempre, like right now, you have very good stopping power. Maganda talaga. So try naman natin dalawa. I can expect right now that this is gonna be good braking. I can speed up a bit ng konti. Both brakes. Hanep. Okay, I'm gonna score this bike very high in the braking department. This is really good braking. Nakakatuwa siya. And you know, it's in these brake tests na I encourage people to be familiar with the brakes ng motor, no? I mean, familiarize yourself dun sa limits ng brakes. Kasi pag nag-gets nyo na kung anong kakayanahan ng brakes mo, one, it's safer, mas naiintindihan mo pa paano kumikilos yung motor mo. And number two, it builds confidence. So it goes without saying na, syempre, if you're out there and you feel confident, mas safe yun, di ba? I mean, ano mas gusto mo, nagmamotor ka, praning ka na, di ba, lahi kang takot, basta talo ka ma-aksidente nun. Uy, humps! May tao naglalakad ang aso. Good braking, very good braking.
Isa sa mga strengths na ipinamumuka ng Bristol Motorcycles sa atin ay yung economic availability nito to more people. Real world price, real world bike for a bigger riding community. Aminin na natin, hindi tayo lahat magiging tycoon. Hindi tayo lahat magkakaroon ng umpak-umpak na salapi. Pero marami sa atin, sakto lang. The Veloce at an introductory price of 348,000 pesos ay masasabi nating sakting din. Ito na ang pinakamurang 500cc na motor out there na maraming nabibigay bilang big bike at kayang tumapat sa mga motor na higit na kalahating milyon ang presyo pataas. Kung meron lang akong masuggest sa aking maliit na opinion dahil wala naman perpektong motor, maganda sana na marami tayong color options na available since malapit na ang datingan nito sa eksenang custom. And sana magkaroon din sila ng collaboration with other aftermarket parts and brands for simple mods here and there. Also, mukhang maganda kung magkaroon din sila ng ibang variants na maaalok na talagang pang off-road, di ba? Or kaya isang sport classic na racer na talagang sub-sub na hindi nawawala syempre yung kurba at sexiness ng Veloce. Andoon pa rin dapat yung mga linya. Pero these additional variants for other applications, tingin ko okay yun, di ba? Patuloy pa rin ang Bristol Motorcycles sa journey nilang pag-establish sa sarili nila bilang isang matatag na brand sa Pinas. At kung ituloy lang nila itong paglabas ng mga motor na tulad ng Veloce 500, walang rason para hindi sila tumagal at lalong umunlad. More choices sa motor, mas okay to para sa ating mga riders. Mas competitive ang pricing. Sa bagong normal, may bagong motor. Ito po ang Bristol Veloce 500. Sir Sak po, nagsasabing laging tandaan, ang buhay ay saglit lang, kaya magmotor ng dahan-dahan. Magmadali din minsan, pero dapat sakto lang. Ciao!
Pwede bang maulit? Pwede bang malunod sa iyo?